The Nintendo Wii, one of the best-selling consoles of all time, known for its motion controls, party games, and being a console the whole family could enjoy. But behind the Mii's and the Wii Sports craze, the Wii actually had a fair share of Call of Duty titles. From World at War to Black Ops, Activision brought some of its biggest FPS games to Nintendo's system. But with that being said, they did have to make a few compromises. And tucked inside these ports, something a lot of people might not expect: Call of Duty Zombies. But how good was Zombies on the Wii? Was it a hidden gem, or was it a watered-down version of the mode we love? Let's take a look. The first thing that stood out to me was the controls. The Wii already had kind of a weird setup compared to other consoles, and Zombies didn't exactly adapt in the smoothest way. The movement stick felt alright. I played on the classic controller, so that also explains it probably, but it was nothing groundbreaking. The real problem came with the buttons. The Wii just didn't have enough buttons to handle everything Zombies wanted you to do. One of the biggest issues I ran into was button mapping. For example, sprint and jump were mapped to the same button. From my knowledge, I don't think you could change this. If you wanted to sprint, you had to be moving forward, then press the button. But if you pressed it while standing still, you would jump. This sounds small on paper, but in practice, it was frustrating at times. There were so many times I would want to sprint away, but I would accidentally jump, and I would just get down from it. Now, when you were a kid, you don't really think about this stuff. Back then, I thought it was amazing just to have Call of Duty ported to the Wii. The fact that I could play Zombies back then blew my mind. But revisiting it today, you start to notice how watered down the port actually was. Graphically, it looked rough. That's not surprising, it's a Wii. But beyond the visuals, the overall experience felt stripped back in my opinion. Like, instead of feeling like a AAA game, it felt more of like a fan project someone ported to another console. And of course, with the graphics being lower, in my opinion, the maps didn't have the same level of detail. For example, with Kino, the map felt dark, creepy, claustrophobic at times, but on the Wii it just felt flatter and simplified. But here's the thing, despite all the flaws, there's still a part of me that still loves the game. Because as weird as it was, and as clunky as it was my experience growing up with it. Because I didn't personally have an Xbox 360 until a little bit later in its lifestyle. So for a lot of us that only had the Wii at the time and played it, this was our first taste of Call of Duty Zombies, and there was something special about that. Looking back, I wonder if nostalgia is what made me hold on to good memories. Like, did I actually enjoy the gameplay, or was I just excited to play Call of Duty? And to be honest, it's probably a mix of both. If I'm being critical, no, the Wii version of Zombies wasn't really good in the sense of polished or competitive with the other versions, but it did give me something, and a lot of other players back then, something to sink hours into, and for that reason it holds a special place in my memory. So was COD Zombies on the Wii actually good? Probably not. At least not by today's standards. But was it fun? Did it create memories? Did it matter to the people who played it? Absolutely. And maybe that's what counts the most. And if this is the first video you're seeing by me, I'm a COD Zombies channel. I cover everything. I do gameplay, I do talks sometimes, and I just start discussions. So if you like what you see, please consider leaving a like and subscribe. We are trying to hit 600 subscribers before the end of the year. It would help me out tremendously. And I hope to see you in the next video. Peace.